Hey, my wonderful Pisces Divine Masculine placements. Christina here with Ginger Mama Tarot, coming at you with your month of September extended Tarotscope. So we're going to get into it. If you're new to my channel, my name is Christina. I'm an intuitive channel and a card reader, and I also love astrology. So I'm tying it all in for you for the month of September. If you're unsure if you're masculine or feminine energy, we all hold both, everyone, but some people are imbalanced in one way or the other. Feel free to go to my website, gingermama.com, and you can get more clarity. I have in my blogs a free blog about wounded masculine, wounded feminine, healed masculine. You can also watch both and see which one you resonate with more on your journey right now. All right, so as I was channeling for you before we get into the cards, masculine energy, Pisces placements, I was picturing someone like going up a mountain, but they were like dragging this bag of rocks behind them. They were like, these got to go with me. But it was like they're rocks. It was almost like you're so tired and run down, and it was like, just untie the bag and let the rocks go and keep going up the mountain. But like there's some hesitation to let something go, whatever those rocks symbolize to you. And the astrology of this month, especially for Pisces, is going to hit you maybe a little bit harder than other signs, okay? So let's dive into the astrology first, and then we'll get into the cards, okay? And by the way, I'm going to point this out before we dive into the astrology. The two cards that came out was Death and the Ten of Pentacles reversed. So maybe some of what you're trying to carry is this belief of how finances work, your career, that your worth is tied up in your monetary energy. Understand everything is energy. Time, attention, sexual energy, financial energy. It is all energy. And if we hyper focus on one without tapping into another, your emotions, for example, things like that, then we're always going to be very imbalanced. So maybe some of you are reflecting on your career this month, or just feeling like something's got to give when it comes to your finances, okay? So keep that in mind. As we start out the month on the 5th, we have Venus and Virgo. Venus is the planet of love, everyone. People love to talk about Venus. Virgo, though, is an earth sign. It's very grounded. It's very stable. It's very practical. It's very like, how does this look? How does this work? How do I want a romantic partnership to look? But it's highly intuitive. So it's also tapping in with those feelings and that Pisces energy of like water energy of like, how do I flow with both practicality and spirituality, emotions, logical space, and the heart space. Alexa, stop music. And again, maybe that idea of like turning off the outside noise and really going inward, like not letting anything interfere with what it is you are trying to cultivate for your highest timeline. Okay? On the 6th, the moon moves into Aquarius. Normal transits here that we have the moon changing signs. However, on the 8th, the moon is still in Aquarius and it's conjunct Saturn. And so it's really calling on us to check in with what is the collective energy around us? Family, friends, coworkers, lovers. Are we really happy with these energies? Are we really feeling peace and comfort and joy? Is there equal give and take? Or are some of these energies really messing with our highest and greatest good? Do we need to pull back for a time period? And so understand, if you want to pull back from someone, that's totally okay, but do it in a healthy way. Say, hey, I'm going to take some time to focus on myself. I will reach out to you in 3 weeks, in 2 months, in whatever it is. Set it in your calendar and follow through. But make sure you're not doing that as an avoidant tactic. Like, I don't want to avoid conflict. I don't want to address this issue, so I'm going to pull back instead, or ghost or run. Ghosting someone, just not speaking to them, is a form of trauma, is a form of abuse. Typically, people who do that, that was done to them in childhood or previous connections. And so they carry out the cycle. So really check in with yourself. Do you do that to others? That's unacceptable. If you're in a connection and you really want nothing to do with it, state that clearly. You're hurting someone if you're just like, well, yeah, let's be friends, or maybe later. No, if you want nothing from that connection, then you state that, hey, I don't want to do this. I'm going to stop communication with you. And I know you feel like that's hurting someone, but that's bringing clarity to someone. And if you actually care about any of their feelings in any way, you would do that. Or otherwise, you tell the truth. I'm going through this. I do want to connect with you. Can you give me some time? So that's up to you to kind of, again, that Venus and Virgo, and then this Aquarius conjunct Saturn seems very important for you. And right on the 9th, we're going to hit Mercury retrograde. A lot of people get spooked when they hear that. If you're new to astrology, don't panic. Mercury retrograde is not a bad thing. So many people panic. It can hinder technology, things at work. Make sure you're double checking what you're saving and doing with your electronics. It can also cause complications in travel. So make sure if you are traveling, it is because you know you're meant to, things like that, yeah. It's also a time, as we have the Four of Wands on the bottom of the deck, where past lovers or connections circle back in some way. You might feel called to reach out to someone else. They might be reaching out to you. It could be your twin flame. You're feeling very pulled, or that soulmate, to like connect with them in some way. And it's not that you can't. It's actually a great time to do so. It's a great time to tie up loose ends. However, make sure you're being clear in your communication. You're not just being very spontaneous. You're not just dipping in to then run. You know what I mean? You're not just like, I feel uncomfortable, so I'm going to reach out to you and see how this goes and then bye. That's not acceptable. That's not okay. If you're not reaching out in a form of commitment, if you're not reaching out with clarity, hey, I want to date you. I'm sorry this wasn't working. I really want to be with you. I'm not going to hide this connection. Then don't reach out, because that's just going to create conflict. That's not fair to that other person. Okay. Yeah. The Magician reversed. I feel like many of you are thinking highly about this person. And it's like you're thinking about them. You're wondering what it would feel like to open up or be with them, but you're not taking action forward. That's a form of dark magic, when we just lay there and think about someone, but we don't actually take action to engage in 3D with them. That is you manipulating someone else's energy. That's not okay. So I know you might be feeling a little insecure, but you also might really, this Page of Cups, feel like, well, what do I want? You know, do I want a family? Do I want to be with this person? Like, what do I want? And so explore those emotions, especially at the beginning of the month. Excuse me. And then a good time to release would be, that 10th. We have the full moon in Pisces, by the way. Again, there's going to be such a buildup to this full moon for you, because you are Pisces placements. If a full moon falls on your sun sign or other, signs in your big three, oftentimes it's more intense for you. And so be sure that you're really releasing any fear, doubt, worry, insecurity. You're really asking yourself, am I blocking a divine love connection because of my own insecurity and fear? Okay. Tap into your high priestess mode, right? You might be viewing this person as very intuitive as well. But try to balance out and understand that if you're a true twin counterpart, soulmate, like you're mirrored energy. Okay. So you're both the high priestess, right? You're both these energies. And right now, that Pisces energy is so intuitive, mixed with Virgo season. I mean, this is powerful, this full moon. So take time with the full moon to write down any fears, worries, insecurities, to release any past karmic connections, any past lovers, both in your physical realm, but also energetically. So often we get out of connections and then we just try to move forward and we don't understand why we still are feeling anxiety, depression, fear, worry. It's because we're still tied in energetically in some way, whether that's abuse from our childhood, trauma from past relationships, just a sexual encounter, whatever it might be. You're tied in some way. So release with this full moon. Write it down, burn that piece of paper, give it to source, okay? I think most people are going to be feeling better as they do that. Again, it's like this idea, I feel like many of you, look at this, Two of Cups. Who are you? Divine Masculine Pisces placements. You're afraid to communicate because you think there's no way this person would want you back. The Four of Swords reversed can be like a feeling of like it's totally done. But yet I feel like many of you are laying in bed thinking about this person. Again, that Magician reversed. What is that about? If you love someone, if you feel like you had that connection, even if it got messed up, even if you were the one that pulled back, ran, ghosted, whatever it was, you're being called to communicate the truth. But see, you're stalling that. You know this is your person and you're stalling that. And so the more you stall that, the more this full moon is going to deplete your strength reversed. The more you try to push away what God has sent you and you're not healing your avoidant attachment style, you're not speaking your truth, you are going to feel weaker and weaker and weaker. And it's not going to stop with this full moon, everyone. This doesn't stop. This is all about you. I know you're going to feel emotionally drained. okay? Because God's trying to send you this happily ever after, and you know it, but you're so afraid of something, whatever that is for you. Maybe something happened in a past connection or your childhood. And so you carry this burden when it comes to love. Maybe in the past you've been very promiscuous, had a lot of lovers, and so you're afraid to communicate that with this feminine energy that, like, yeah, I intentionally was out playing the field, and I don't know. It's like, that's why we harp on this idea of commitment. And if they take you back, great. If they don't, okay, at least you freed yourself of that self-limiting fear and belief. Do you understand? This isn't about them. This is about you. If you have feelings like this, you need to express them in 3D to this person. That will release you. And you have to trust that Source is not doing this to manipulate you or anything like that. They're doing this to try to get you to see you're worthy of love. So Temperance here, again, a reminder, the Empress has been very patient with you. And I think you're realizing that. But maybe they've cut you out recently. They've pulled back because they're like, I'm not going to play these games with you. So start asking yourself, can I have patience with them as they process whatever information I'm telling them? Can I pour into someone else? Okay. And many of you, if you're not feeling regret for any of behavior you've done, again, this full moon's going to kick you in the ass. You're going to realize, wait a second, I might be screwing the wrong people. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Page of Cups. If you're reversed, if you're avoiding your emotions right now, it's not going to last long. It's the whole fall cycle, but especially it's going to begin right now, the month of September. Okay. So on the 23rd, we're still in retrograde, by the way. We're in Mercury retrograde the entire remainder of September. So be aware, anyone coming back into your field, this is a time to tie up loose ends, especially if these are people you used to be in relationships with, family, friends. You're really being called to ask, am I around the right energy right now? Or are these rocks I'm trying to drag up a mountain that I don't need? And what rock or thing do I actually want to carry up the mountain? What is worth my time and energy? Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like you're focused totally on the wrong things right now. And tap in with yourself. Get really clear with yourself this month. I do not feel like it's a time for you to be around a lot of people. I do not feel like it's a big time to be partying or doing anything. September's a great month to get really real with yourself and go internally. It's right before we really enter the holiday season and all of this. So you're not missing anything. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is a great time to kind of hibernate and find what it is you really want, and then begin to find healthy ways to communicate that and start to heal your avoidant attachment styles that you likely hold if you are more masculine energy, okay? Doesn't matter your body, female, male bodies, skin suits don't matter. But if you were the one that avoided this connection, that ghosted, that ran, and you want it back, you are the one being called to reach out, provide clarity, and be the one to pour into someone else, to nurture the connection. That is part of your awakening, okay? On the 25th, we hit the new moon, okay? So it's not all doom and gloom, I promise. If you are doing the work earlier in the month, especially with that full moon energy, by the end of the month, you're going to likely be feeling better. But if you're not putting in the work, if you're still trying to drag those rocks up the mountain, the new moon's going to hit you like a ton of rocks. Okay, I tell people this all the time. If you're in cycle with the moons and you're doing what Source is asking you to do, you feel better and better, especially with new moons. But if you're not doing the work, both of these energies kick you in the butt. Like, it is so intense. You might literally have trouble getting out of bed, just feeling weaker around certain people. You're just like, what is this energy? Okay. So pay close attention to that. The 29th, we have Venus again, planet of love, but she's in Libra this time. And I'm telling you, Venus, that is a thing right there, Libra energy. It's going to highlight for you how you have been giving or not giving in connections. Are you balanced? Are you speaking clearly? Are you communicating in an appropriate, healthy way, right? Are you only giving sexual energy? Are you giving time? Are you giving attention? Are you only giving money? What is this balance here? What is the balance of the person you are with, okay? So again, if you've done the work earlier in the month, this is going to feel much better by the end of the month. But if you haven't, it's going to be a thing. The moon card that comes out is the energy is gaining momentum. Again, you're going to feel this momentum and you're going to be like, I don't understand. I don't understand. Tap in with your dreams, tap in with signs and synchronicities around you. Nothing is yet set in stone, and the end of a tough cycle approaches. So again, if you feel like it's been really tough as you've dragged those rocks up the mountain, if you can let them go and trust Source and do what you're being called to do, in earnest truth from your heart space, you're going to be feeling much better. Okay. All right, Divine Masculines, I love all of you. I have free blogs on the Twin Flame journey, things like that on my website, gingermama.com. I also post free content daily on TikTok. I do have Instagram as well, not on there as often, but you can follow me there if you feel called. And I also book personal readings. So I love connecting with masculine energy, whether that's an email reading or an in-person reading, female or male body, I'm always here for you. So I love you. I will see you next month, and hang in there. You're going to get through this, okay?